You're watching SBA Today. With all the latest news, stories, and advice, here are your hosts, Paul Long and Tonya Mazurek.
Welcome to SBA Today, presented by Res Title, your SBA title experts for the week of July 14th. I am Paul.
And I'm Tonya, and today we've got some news for you as well as a discussion about personal branding.
Well, a few little things in the news. First and foremost, there's some changes to CFRs. Remember, CFRs is the law. So when they start playing around with that, we all should listen. But what's interesting is they're going through and they're proposing modifications to remove anything that's obsolescent, inefficient, which I love, anything that's inefficient being removed, or otherwise unnecessary things for the licensing of SBICs. Okay. Now, does that affect us? No, not really. However, if they're playing in one CFR area, SBA 7A's next.
Oh, it always works like that. I mean, isn't that how it always works? Anytime they start changing something on one end, you know that something's coming down the line. And or if people mess up in one part, which we've seen already, then they start looking at the others, which is well.
And then I also noticed on this, on the SBICs, it says SBA is also seeking to remove certain barriers to investments in critical mineral extraction and processing. And so right now, if I remember correctly, and again, I couldn't tell you the last time, actually, I've never done it in my career, and that is mineral extractions. But if they're playing in SBICs, they're probably playing in 7A. So have you ever done a mineral extraction loan?
No.
Please put your comments if you even had a request.
Well, no, I have actually had a request. And
really?
Yeah, that obviously didn't fly or anything. Oh yeah, we definitely have had a request.
Colorado,
so
I mean, you got a lot of rocks and such.
Exactly. Well, we've had like that and like fracking and all the different things that can be done or whatever. So yeah, you get a few of those, but it's not something that my previous bank did. So yeah.
Interesting.
I know.
Well, something big happened. Yeah. What's going on here, Tonya?
Huntington Bank. You guys, Huntington Bank took in, what is it? Veritex. And the interesting thing with that is Veritex has a really good or large size operating SBA department, as does Huntington. Now, the even more interesting part is they're kind of different. Definitely different. So how do you think that's going to go down on your end, Paul? What do you think?
Well, since Huntington is the one that's buying it, that means they're going to do it the Huntington way.
Really?
I think we've all been in those situations before where, the person who's buying is the one that changes the rules.
Right.
So it will be very interesting to see how they continue to rank. Are they trying to be a top 3? What does that look like? They're doing well, but
think about it, Paul. There's, how this works when people combine, oftentimes whole groups of SBA lenders or departments or whatever move to completely different shops because they don't like what they're going into, or it doesn't fit, or the type deals that they're looking for. Oh my God. So what could be coming down the line with parties out there potentially moving to different shops? I mean, it's always interesting, but when you get these big guys like that really have a lot going on, it gets even more interesting. So
I don't know. Does. So sit back and eat your bonbons and see what happens.
Dude, the amount of times you used to tell me to eat bonbons, I think you want me to get really, really large. I know what you're doing. Oh, and by the way, before we get into branding, do you notice the color I'm wearing?
Green.
What color green would you call this? I know some will call it chartreuse.
Neon green.
That's not what I'm calling it. I'm calling it key lime. And you know why I'm wearing key lime green, Paul? I'm going to Key West tomorrow. My triple R. Anyway. All right. We're going to start talking about branding, guys. So branding. Often it's seen as marketing. It's a marketing buzzword, and it's crucial for BDOs. That's who we're talking to right now, BDOs, right? The question that we want you to ponder, and you should be pondering quite honestly, is in a competitive lending landscape, what truly sets you apart?
100%. And there are so many, people out there that are really starting to do this. And I feel like, I started my brand I think it was 10 years ago. And there's just so many other people that are doing it, and it's awesome to see it. I support it. If anyone calls me and says, how do you start a brand? Go for it.
Yeah.
Please.
Well, you know what's funny? And I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about it actually when we decided to do this this part of the program, really. And I think our brand starts well before we actually even put it out there. I think our brand is
amen.
us in general. It is who you show up as, not only to the customers you work with, the colleagues you have or whatever. It's who you are on the inside. It's who you are when people aren't even looking. That is your brand. And for me, specifically for me, because y'all know I got a crazy brand probably. But anyway, it's putting who you are out there, and that is part of creating your own brand. So anyway.
Yeah. And when you really look at personal branding, it's way more than just social media, right? Social media is kind of where it's the foundation that you play on. But again, it's your reputation, it's your unique value. It's what people say about you when you're not in the room. Hey, Tonya, what do you think people say about you behind when you're not in the room?
Maybe I'm crazy, which may be correct. No, I think, you know what? I already know what they say because I've just left a room, as you know, right? I previously just left my previous institution, and some of the things that people wrote back was so amazing to see how you are seen, right? I am seeing exactly how I put myself out there, and that's great, at least by the ones that choose to see me that, right? A light, they were told, a light, or somebody that lifts others up, somebody that's always willing to help, and that kind of lights a room. My big thing, and what I like to put out there, right, is my soul. I'm very heart led. Not everybody is. I get it, and it's what creates me being me. One of my brands is that it's soul level, it's heart level, it's trust, etc. That is my brand because that is me. And my idea about a brand is if it's truly you and it's not trying to copycat somebody else or be what somebody else is or replicate in a specific way, but it's not yours, it will never come across as your brand because your brand is actually you. Anyway.
That's 100% true.
What would people say about you, Paul?
Oh man, I'm sure there'd be lots of 4-letter words. No, I'm a straight shooter. People know who I am. Who I am right here is exactly who I am in real life. And there's just, I don't have time to put on a different hat. That would hurt my brain to have a different personality. But but why
so
is it?
Many do, Paul. So many do, and I'm big on that one. So many do. They take off their little hats or their titles that they have at home, and they put on a different one when they get to work. And I think that's sad because I think we all put on our pants one leg at a time and just be who you are. And I think that's what shows up naturally. Anyway.
Well, and it's really crucial for SBA BDOs to stand out. And again, just some examples out there. Of course, our podfather, Ray Drew, what a brand master he is on that. Ryan Kroge, Alan Peterson, Matthias Smith, all of them do a great job of branding. I just got done listening to
Tonya Mazurek, Lance Sexton.
Yep, that's true. It's all about being out there and, like a website. Do you have a website? What are you proposing on the website? Is it a selling website or is it an educational website? Right. All of that plays a big part because no one's going to go to your website if it's just hard sells. No, if it's education, people are going to go on there and do that. But
Part of
definitely
that
having
reminds
that.
me of, I'm so sorry. Part of that
You're
reminds
fine.
me of the, what is it that I hate? You and I always laugh about this. Tombstones. I
Yeah.
love the tombstones that seem educational or seem like they're actually showing what occurred that helped a borrower. I do not like the tombstones that show, look at me, I did
I
this,
left you
pat my
alone.
back.
Yay,
Exactly.
I did my job.
Exactly. Exactly. And
Yeah.
I'm just so weird with that, but it's the same
Yeah.
kind of thing to me is be yourself or be somebody else. Do a tombstone about this or do a anyway.
Well, and going into that, the personal branding, like I was saying earlier about the education piece, I think that is the absolute key. And trust me, it is hard to create content. Okay. That is the number one thing that I bang my head against the wall
Yeah.
is content. But having those opportunities where you're talking about 7A, 504, Express, business acquisitions, whatever your specialty is, dive into it deep. And I know, like, for example, you, Tonya, with your Tonya's tidbits and going into that, like, that's what built your brand, right?
It is. It is. When I got into SBA, I didn't know SBA from Jack, really. Meaning I didn't. I was a BDO at a large bank or whatever, and the SBA deals that I did literally were those. It was kind of like the no but kind of response where you're trying to do a conventional deal. You can't, but let's see if we can do it in the SBA world. Yet it was sent to an actual SBA party, so you kind of were out of it. It was very hands off. So when I went over
Mhm.
to my bank, it was learning altogether, but my name was not associated with SBA. I created my name being associated with SBA. I created myself, quite honestly, being an expert before being an expert and becoming an expert because of what I did. So I was putting my Tanya's tidbits out there. And you know how I learned? And I got so deep into the SOP is putting Tanya's tidbits out there. And it was just these little blurbs from the SOP, just little copy and paste. And I gave them credit
Yeah.
and everything, copy, paste. And then all the people would reach out to me questions on that specific tidbit. And then I would have to go into the SOP, Paul, and actually figure out the answer before I could answer. So I created myself.
You are an expert.
Okay, tell me how many people don't do that. I mean, as soon as they put their
Agreed.
name with
Agreed.
SBA, people think that they're an SBA expert. They are not. And so it's what you do to become one.
Yep.
That is part of your brand. I mean, that's part of who I am too. Like we dig into things, right? We dig into things because we want to know more, not just because we want to spout out something that somebody told us. We want to
Agreed.
know it. And that is part of our brand.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And kind of going into the, specialties, they always say the riches are in the niches, right? And you should absolutely do that, not just in your business, but in your personal branding as well. LinkedIn, are you making articles? If you specialize in business acquisitions, is that what you're focusing on? Are your articles, 3 things every small business owner needs to know about 7A, things like that? Are you doing speaking engagements? Speaking engagements are big. Local business groups, SCORE chapters, SBDC, all of those.
Hey, by the way, Paul Long and Tonya Mazurek are available for speaking.
That's true.
Bring
Washington,
us in,
Oregon, Idaho.
Bring us in. Hey, yeah.
But
go there.
it's true.
It's true.
And that's how you build, and that's how you build it. And that's how you build your referral partnerships, because you're in front of them. You're that knowledge. And it's a absolutely key piece. And another thing that I've learned is getting feedback and testimonials. Okay. Now, I'm sure every institution gets their own, they send out the survey, etc. But I'm sure you get emails. Thank you so much, Tonya, for everything that you've done on this loan, etc. Using some of those for posts, is that more impactful than I just booked a loan, tombstone? To me, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that Coke thing
Jinx.
that you used to do when you were younger
Jinx.
anyway. Yes, exactly. I 100% agree with you, Paul, and I think it's the most important, to be honest, because not
Yep.
only when I think when we brand around our company, they have a brand, right? Companies have a brand, whatever. You're not branding for your company. You can have a company name behind you, that's fine, but you're branding you. Who are
Correct.
you? When you leave a company, are people following you or are people just there because of your company? And I think that's something that people miss. They get so specific with who they're hanging their hat with, right? And that's not who people are working with. They're working with you. And so your brand is you.
That is
So
correct.
create it with you. You can hang your hat wherever you hang your hat, right? And God love the companies that have you behind them because your brand is so
Hmm.
important. But yeah, I think that's something that people miss, and they so often just do the company versus
Yeah.
themselves, who they are.
I yeah. I always tell people, and forgive, I love my current employer. I really do. But people bank with a banker, not a
Oh
bank.
yeah, 100%.
And and sometimes that's missed because
Yeah.
it's that relationship. I mean, anybody in this career, you move, people follow. Generally. Not
Well,
100%, but a decent amount.
I'm going to take that even a step further because imagine that. I think people, it's not just that they bank with a banker. I think they bank with a human, meaning I feel
Correct.
like, right, when you bring that depth
Yep.
and who you are to the conversation, there's a connection versus a transaction. I think if you
Yep.
consider yourself strictly a banker or a lender or a whatever title we want to put to ourselves, right?
Hmm.
That's what people see, right? And they're going to recognize that. But when you come in and you are just you, no title, no anything. I
Yep.
mean, whatever. And I know you do it too. And I know I
Yep.
do. People see that. And I think that's the connection that's made. That is your brand. Then you
100%.
expand on that. You expand on who you are, and that becomes your brand. I mean, I would be probably in a world of hurt for taking the big old honking step that I just chose to take. Whereas, you leave, you don't particularly have the next thing planned out, but it's purposeful and you're taking a moment, right? People will follow me because of my brand,
Correct. That's
because
right.
I'm me and because of what they know that I bring to the table. And I think that's very important for people to do. So I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
So as we kind of close out this part on personal branding, I'm going to say something that's very controversial.
Oh boy.
Here it is.
No, we never
Everyone,
say anything controversial on this show.
everyone who is watching or listening to this, you're going to listen to this, you're going to shake your head, and you're going to go, I'm so going to do this. And 99.9% of you aren't going to do. Sorry.
Wait.
And here's my
Let's try
challenge.
it again.
Here's my challenge to you.
Yeah.
Be the 1% and go do it for yourself. Go make the step to talk to somebody, to get some advice, do your own research, find out. There's plenty of people in this industry you can go out and look at and build it. Build it,
Well,
build it.
and look deep in yourself. What is it that you're trying to put out there? What is it that makes you unique and different? What
Mhm.
is it that people see in you? Like you said, Paul, what is it that people see in you when you walk in a room? What energy do you bring? What personality do you bring? What special gift is it that you
Yep.
have to put out there? Because everybody's got something, right? And
Yep.
me attempting to go out and be like somebody else is, or somebody that's a total black suit, whatever, in my key lime shirt, it's not going to happen, man. I would totally show up inauthentic.
Yep.
Look deep in yourself and find who you are, and that's the brand that you're creating. Use the other as tools to help,
Yep.
perhaps, but make
Yep.
dang sure that you're creating it for you versus replicating what somebody else has done. Now, I also want to tell you, Paul, because I did not get it done in time today, but I did like a PDF/work sheet type thing. It's a Tonya version, right? Because it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean it's everybody else's, but I'll
Sure.
either post it in the show notes or post it on my LinkedIn. If anybody
Great
wants to
idea.
see it, go find it. Anyway.
That's awesome.
Okay.
That's
Well,
awesome.
you know what? It's been fun again, as
Yeah.
it always is. As it always is. And we look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Eight,
Mountain Central Time
8 Pacific.
and 8 Pacific, 11 Eastern. Let's just keep going, right? Anyway, go to any of our previous episodes. You can find them as well as any of the podcasts out there as far as our family of podcasts, the SBA or the BDO show and the Art of SBA Lending. Love to see you there. Res Title is our sponsor. Go check them out. They could be a really great partner for you. And other than that, go have a great day, and we'll see you next week. See ya.
See you guys later.